We'll be silly.
No.
I'm happy to be silly.
Yeah.
Dean, I don't give a flying flip if it's Dylan Moore. You sit your ass at the Shabbos table till 10 o'clock and then you can go do your thing. Ben Key, you can choose anything.
Yeah.
I know.
No, we need a forward.
We need a forward.
I might wait, hold on, I'm not talking. Ben Keys.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I've actually heard the only thing less likely than a North Melbourne win is Chase making a sale at work.
What's that? Backs?
Backs. Yeah.
Mids, forwards.
Harry? Ooh, Adams, 89.
All right, welcome back to Dos & Toss Season 5, Episode 5. It took us a while to set up. I've got some new lighting kits in the studio at the Mons household. Thank you for having us. Because if you're watching live, you will notice that on my right-hand side, there is a different but definitely a familiar face. Dean Alter is out sick. Indefinitely. Illness has swept through the camp. I'm also a little bit sniffly, but the show must go on. So, I've popped a few Panadols, a bit of Codral, a bit of like the eucalyptus thing, whatever. So I'm here. Shosti, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, boys. Big shoes to fill.
I was just going to ask,
Yeah.
I don't think they are big shoes to fill.
No, well, look, normally I come on as an extra and I can just chime in wherever I want. But, I mean, if I wasn't here today, you'd end up talking to yourself for the whole session, Chase. So
Yeah.
hopefully I've given you a bit of a cop-out.
As long as you bring a bit of excitement to the table, then you're already doing a great job. So we're trying to minus out that monotone.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, well,
From the old
I'll
days.
try to change the tone up of my voice a little bit.
Very good.
Very keen for the tonal shifts. 2 Collingwood supporters by my side.
How do you
A
feel?
little bit intimidating.
Collingwood
actually.
sandwich, actually.
Yes, I am in a Collingwood sandwich, and
It's
I can handle it.
Well,
I can handle
it's a shit sandwich if you've got Melbourne in the middle at the moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to Melbourne a little bit later, but you guys had the bye. Pies had the bye this week, so a bit of a chill weekend.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's
Boring.
It's boring, but it's also relaxing.
I don't like it.
But yeah, this early in the year, it feels a bit awkward to have a bye. Definitely
Yeah.
prefer to be playing.
It feels like it's one less thing to look forward to during the week.
Exactly. Yeah. Although, I mean, Carlton losing's another thing
That's
to look
great.
forward
Yep.
to. But
Of course.
yeah, other than that, it sucks to have an early bye.
Yeah, I had a pretty rough weekend. So yeah, I had my cricket grand final on Saturday and
Condolences.
Sunday, and it was really rough. We got our pounds pulled down by Werribee. Shout out to them.
I heard it was a Melbourne-like defeat.
Oh, it was probably worse. It was actually worse. We conceded 370 on Saturday. I did 20k in the field just chasing balls.
Far out.
So
You
yeah,
love to chase balls, though.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it was a rough weekend, and then on Sunday we got rolled for 116. I got out second ball. So
How'd you get out? Can I ask?
I got bowled. Yeah, in swinging Yorker. Not much to say. Like, it was really hostile. They had their whole club down. All the Caulfield people were watching the one, so we didn't really have any support. And
I heard there were more people there than Melbourne Gold Coast.
well, probably. Yeah, there was a couple hundred people, mostly Werribee. I think we had a few people and a dog, so
Yep.
it was good. But no, on the crowd numbers, like, I like being a smaller club. I don't mind it. I grew up going to the MCG when Melbourne was shit and there would be like 20,000 fans. But if we had any sort of momentum, it actually created a really, it created a uniquely loud, but just like, I can't really describe the sound of the Melbourne crowd.
Is
but it
that
was very
because there is
nostalgic.
none? Or?
It's very nostalgic.
It's what?
No,
Because there is none.
yeah.
No,
No.
we'd get up and about. Like, we could be 20,000, but we could sound like 35, 40 if we were winning.
35-40, that's good. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
It's sad because I can imagine going to this D's Gold Coast game and you're on the 4th level and half of the section is just like blocked off. You can't access the canteen. You can't access the toilets because you don't get enough fans to fill that area. So they don't even bother opening it.
Yes, and the other thing is, on the TV broadcast, it shows the Shane Warne stand wing, which typically Melbourne fans don't fill up. We're mostly on the MCC wing. So potentially, I think Katie McDonald has brought this up, that we, Melbourne game, switch the camera around to the other side, which there might be some operating costs there, but...
Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I felt they're mainly fair weather supporters at Melbourne, to be
We are.
honest, because they're there when they're winning and they're nowhere to be seen now.
Well,
which is
we
a
know where
shame.
they are when they're losing. They're down at Mount Buller and Mount Hotham.
Of
Yes.
course, yep. Cozy,
not me, though.
Cozy winters for Melbourne.
Not
fans.
you.
I haven't been to any games yet because of cricket, but I will.
Back to cricket.
Sure.
Condolences for the loss, of course. It's tough to end the season like that, but fortunately, it's not the end for you. You still have to train towards something, and your redemption is eyes in July. Focus on something bigger
Yeah.
and hopefully better. Something new and refreshing. So that's still exciting. You're off to Maccabea.
Yeah, keen, very keen. More going for a bit more of a social thing. But yeah, we'll
And to
definitely
find some form again.
yes, definitely find some form again. But my cricket career is up in the air a little bit. Yeah,
This is why you're going in July, and it's gonna your career won't be in the year after.
someone's who
It'll be like
Go on.
what is it from religion? The guy that like just
The spiritual experience.
this is gonna be your spiritual experience. You're in the
could be.
Holy Land. You're airy fairy with cricket at the moment. You're not loving it, but July is gonna be a reason why you play and why you love it.
I hope I do get a spiritual experience like whatever his name is. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, that was too
Dean would have
Dean
been
would
good
know.
there. Sorry, Shosti.
Yeah,
the
see,
Alec
that's the shoes
education.
that you need to feel.
Yeah, I don't have that sort of knowledge, but hopefully I make up for it in other spots.
Nah, that's all good. Speaking of Dean, we'll get on to the Hawks quickly. I actually didn't watch much of this game because of the fixturing. Both games scheduled at 7:35. Just no idea why. You've got two of the top four. Two of the.
The reasoning why was the rescheduling. From
Yeah, but why does it
opening
have to
round.
be 7:35?
Well, Geelong play Melbourne on Friday night this week, so you had to give them less. You couldn't put them on the Sunday, and that's where they'd taken the slot off. So they had to put them on the Saturday, and that's obviously what they decided. I agree it sucks, but I think opening round's the bigger issue here rather than, like, you can't blame them for the rescheduling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why? Like, it's Brisbane time, so they're an hour behind, I believe. Why couldn't they have put it at 7:10 or 8:10 so that we can have a bit of an overlap?
Yeah.
So at halftime, I can switch.
Okay.
I can switch games.
I agree with that. I agree with that part of it, but in terms of having the two best games of the week on at the same time, I don't think they could have avoided that.
The one thing I wanted to make note on the Hawks, they were down 5 goals in the first quarter. There was a strong wind. But what I'm starting to see is the making of a premiership side. And why I say that is the premiership side is always built on the back of the growth of the bottom 6 players. Every year, the premiership side always has a really strong bottom 6 players. And I'm talking specifically about the likes of Cam McKenzie, 30 touches on the weekend. The Wiz, Stocks still in Nick Watson.
I'll hold those forever, I reckon. Can't get rid of those. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. And the other thing to note is how they go replacing their injuries as well. Like you see Scrimshaw come out and then Jath comes in and fills that role really well. And then you see Warple go out and you see Ward come in and fill that role really well. Like they have a squad of 26, 27 that are like clear AFL quality, and that means their bottom 6 is always strong. They actually never really field a bad player.
I went through their whole side and I was like, there's no one in this team that shouldn't be playing AFL.
Yeah.
You go through a lot of other sides and like,
There's
oh,
always
they're
one,
no
at
good.
least one or two.
Yeah.
Every
Like
team
none
has
of them, like all of them
And-
are AFL
And
players.
Mitch Lewis and Cal Shadir are still on the injury list as well as the other two I mentioned before.
Yeah, Henry Husway, I think, had another good performance in the VFL. He was part of the clip on the documentary. I saw that they, Mitchell obviously wants to play him, but they just got too much depth at the moment. So
It's not a bad thing to have at the moment.
No, I hate seeing Hawthorn up there again, just because like they just haven't experienced the full package of a supporter, especially their younger gen, even their older gen. Like they were very successful in the 80s. They, like Dean, like he just doesn't know what it's like to properly rebuild. And he talks about those 2 COVID years where they were down the bottom. But
Any update from Shag Levy this week after the...
no update from Shag Levy.
fourth win?
Shosti, if you didn't listen last week, Shag, he's a Hawthorn supporter, Harry Levy.
Yep.
And he said that he just wasn't really enjoying like winning every week just because they expected to
easy.
win. And I was like, how? Like you haven't achieved anything yet with this era. So no update from Shag, actually.
That's a pretty arrogant way to look at it. If my
Yeah.
team's going well, I'm very happy. I don't
I
really
miss
mind.
winning.
going
To be
through
fair,
losing periods.
by Harry saying that, there is some... Like, you can't be giving him a hard time. 2021, D started the year 10-0. Chase said he was bored.
No, 2022.
2022?
I said after we won the flag.
He was bored.
No,
They started 10-0, yeah?
Yeah, 10-0.
Yeah. He wasn't enjoying it.
That's true, and I was saying just get me to finals because when you have an expectation to win, it's just not as fun.
Yeah, it's more stressful than when you come in as an underdog and get a win. That's a very exciting.
Yeah, like Richmond's win against Carlton, St Kilda's win against Geelong, that's like winning a grand final.
Yeah, but anyway,
I get a win now.
Yeah, now Hawthorn right now would have to be premiership favourite. Although I think GWS as well. I mean, that game was played in Tassie. I think that could almost be a round 3 Tasmania grand final preview. But I mean, also the way Barras and Battle have just slotted in, like they've played together for 10 years. Like it's just very rare that. I mean, that side was already, a kick away from making a prelim last year, and then you bring in 2 of the best key defenders in the comp, and it seems to be gelling really well over there.
Yes.
The last few weeks, yeah.
Chrome looking nice at the moment, aren't they? Adelaide Chrome?
Yeah, they are. North weren't bad. They didn't really do much wrong yesterday, but Adelaide they look very complete, and similar to Hawthorn. Their bottom players have grown. I remember this time last year, I looked at the Adelaide team and I was like, none of their players are getting into a premiership side. Like aside from Dawson and Rankin, none of their defenders are getting into a premiership side. Now, Michael Annie has improved, Worrell has improved, Keane has improved, and Rankin and Dawson have gone to another level. So they're scary.
3-0, great start, but are we jumping the gun with them a bit? The verse. St Kilda, Adelaide, North,
Essendon.
Sorry, Essendon, and then Gold Coast next week.
I think
Gold Coast will be definitely the biggest challenge. I think
that's a super exciting match. I was going to say I think they look great, but you can't judge a team after 3 weeks having not really played a top
mediocre
12
teams.
Opponent, really. So there's exciting, but temper the expectations until they get a big win.
Hey, but credit to them. Shout out to them. They've been putting up huge scores as well. They're not just winning games by small margins. So it's impressive nevertheless. They've got a lot of players kicking not bags, but a lot of goals.
They're sharing it around.
Yeah, they are.
Their forward lines.
Their forward line's amazing. And then their midfield as well. Dawson, Rankin, Saligo.
Saligo's been on a tear this year so far. So
and just complemented nicely with Lockie Scholl on the outside as well.
And my boy Ben Keys tearing it up.
Ben Keys. Of course. And I think they have the new trend is going to be scoring. Obviously you have to be able to defend and you can't give up 100+ scores. But in the past, the Geelongs, the Melbournes, the Richmonds even, you've got to be able to keep teams under sort of 70 points and you'll kick 90 to 100 and win games. Now it's almost, whoever can get to 100 points first will win the game. So that's the new age, and I think Adelaide are trending that way. So credit to Matthew Nix.
Yep.
I want to touch on my boy from
Dr. Davidson.
Dr. Davidson.
I wanted to beat you to it.
Was it Friday night?
Friday night. Your boy.
Jeez. I picked him round 9 in the draft, and when I read out his name, there were a few looks across the table.
I had my eyes set on him because he did have that one good preseason game. He got.
You'd probably still be 0-3. Anyway,
I would be. You're right. Oh no. Oh yeah.
No, I had my eyes set on him before the preseason game. I had it written down in my notes. Had a little asterisk because we do get the +20 as he's a first year player. 145 in total, but I'm not just going to look at the fantasy stats. I will look at his game on merit. 31 touches, but he just ran up and down that wing all day. You'd see him in the back line, and then they'd be transitioning into the forward line, and he's the one out the back as well. So he's such a dynamic footballer, very rangy.
Yep. ESPN stat: first player to record 31 disposals whilst being in their last year of medical studies.
That is
Really?
a very good ESPN stat. Yeah, that's an impressive one as well.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not shy about his medicine degree.
Is he
either.
not? I saw an interview about him during pre-season. I was happy to share that one. But
Yeah.
look, if you're studying medicine and you're playing the AFL, then
No, that's a pretty good life.
Yeah.
Full credit to him. He was amazing on Friday night. And I mean, it's great. There's so many VFL stories now of guys that go through VFL development programs, whether it's with an AFL affiliate or even all those Werribee boys like Riley Bice, Jack Henderson,
Werribee.
all those guys coming through. It's good to see.
Mate, even Vaffa these days, or 4 players from last season that got picked up.
Wow.
They're now on AFL lists. So
Right.
it's evolving, it's expanding, it's creating more feel-good stories for the game.
100%.
Definitely. And, if you're low 20s, you're a mature age, there's always hope. Put in the work, get the results in the twos, and you're always in for a chance.
Yeah, the clubs are looking clearly.
100%. You mentioned stat of the week, and I just remember Dean sent a stat of the week, despite not being on the podcast. Forwarding on from DOS, Aiden Core.
Another DOS?
Yes, another DOS. Although this was from 2017, Aiden Core in 2017 was the most recent player to have more marks than disposals in a game, which is pretty crazy.
Sorry, what?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Maybe
What, you play on and get tackled?
Play on and get tackled or
siren.
Far
Or
out.
a like downfield free kick, reversal free kick.
So
That's amazing though. That's an amazing stat.
he sent me the video. I don't know why he sent me the stat. 'Cause this is from 2017, so not really sure what the relevance is. Obviously, Aiden Core did play on the weekend.
Oh, so it wasn't on the weekend that he got this stat.
Oh, I'm
He
not
got
sure.
knocked out.
I think he got knocked out in the first 10 seconds.
Oh, so he's taken the mark and then got knocked out and can't take the kick.
Yeah.
That's another way to do it.
Yeah. Wait, so he had 1 mark, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, but the stats say
Or
he had
is it-
5 marks, so he
Okay.
must have come back on.
Oh,
But
no.
that one obviously just didn't.
Well,
No, sorry,
that
my
could have
bad.
been the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, my bad. No, sorry, that was he 1 mark and done. 1 and done from Aiden Core.
Oh, that's not really a stat then if it was 1 disposal.
You
Like,
pay it, but yeah. Wow. Great stat.
Yeah, thank you, Dos and Dean. I didn't really know where I wanted to go with the D's, and also Carlton being 0-3. Very nostalgic. The D's and the Blues being at the bottom.
It's great to see.
nostalgic?
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay.
No, because I think
What
I
year
said,
does it remind you of? Give me a year.
just honestly my whole childhood.
Nah,
pretty
be
much.
more specific.
Okay, sure. 2017 to 2020. I think there was a bit of an overlap between when we were
You're going to
both
say early
bad.
days, for sure.
There were early days, but Carlton were okay in the early 2000s. Where was I going to go? Yes. A couple of weeks ago, after the Melbourne narrowly lost to GWS, I said on the podcast that we'd have 3 good teams this year. And I'm pretty confident that we'll only have 2. Well, definitely 1. At least 1. Could be 2 with Collingwood. But they're saying the Melbourne era is over. And I'm very happy. I just want it to be over. I'm so sick of this illusion of a tale of this 2021 premiership.
What
that
is
we've
this
got.
reverse
Can we
psychology?
just wrap it up? No, wrap up this era. Let's move on. We've got young kids, but let's just commit to a game plan. I don't know if any of you watched the game against Gold Coast.
I
but
watched it.
Yeah, I was watching.
I feel bad for you.
It
I'm
was
sorry
an
that you
awful
did.
watch, yeah.
We
Wasn't as-
are
yeah, go
so bad. We cannot kick the ball. Fundamentals of the game, we're just not up to it, but it's across the whole team. And the only 2 players that I've seen this year consistently hit targets under pressure is our 2 first-year players in Xavier Lindsay and Harvey Langford, which is so embarrassing. These guys have played 2 games each.
I was going to bring up the D's with you, Chase, today because there's a fair bit to talk about. One thing I've noticed with Melbourne is, generally to look at how teams are going to perform the next year or the year after to find the trends in their performance, you'd look at the players that they bring onto their list and have they gotten better over the off-season. And I can't recall any trade, free agent, off-season pickup that Melbourne have made since that premiership team, which has also obviously lost quite a few players, such as Luke Jackson. And outside of the draft the last couple of years, where you're not really relying on 19-year-olds to turn your whole club around on the spot, are there any free agent or trade players that Melbourne have added since the premiership side?
No one that has been successful.
Yeah.
We've had Luke Dunstan, Josh Shackey, Jack Billings,
Yeah.
Tom Campbell, Harry
The Saints
Sharp.
players. Harry Sharp kicked 2 goals, but
Yeah, he was okay.
He's
how
not-
he's not an AFL player.
There's no impact.
He's a track and field runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fringe player. He's serviceable, but
He wouldn't be getting a game on
And then,
many
because
teams.
going into 2022, as we were talking about before, when you guys were 10-0, I genuinely had the thought to myself, this Melbourne team with that core 7-8 players, you're talking Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver Viney, May, Lever, Pickett, Fritsch, you're I mean, that's the best top end of the competition. They made all the other guys better around them. Like, how many flags are they going to win? And they haven't even made a final. Haven't won a final. Won a final. It's pretty tough to see. And it brings me to the question on the coach. So Melbourne haven't won a final in Melbourne since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Factual statement.
Straight sets twice.
And they've seen multiple CEOs, multiple presidents, trainer allegations about the coach. Sorry, doctor harassment allegations against the coach. Then also a few other murmurs and rumours about the coach. And then a underperforming side apart from 2021. Where do you stand with Goodwin?
I'm done with him. Like, seriously, he's giving me the ick. Really, the way he speaks in the media, he's so weird. He's part of the unfiltered or uncensored.
Yes, with Hamish McLaughlin.
And like he's the way he's trying to articulate like the love of the club. It's so weird because he doesn't have any facial expression. Like, he's talking about emotion, but he has no facial expression, and he says the same thing in his press conference all the time. And look, he's a premiership coach for a reason, but that's in the past. Like, you can't be given a job based on success in the past when now it's just a completely different era. Yep. Like, you haven't been able to adapt. We got to 2 final series based on contests and defense, but teams worked us out. And now you're trying to play this new game plan. And look, fair enough, you probably don't have the tools to do it with players, that is, but you're not committing to the game plan. Like, on the weekend, we'll try that inside 45 kick, but then
no one can hit it.
Yeah, no one can hit it, and then we kind of go away from it and go back down the line. It's like, if you're going to do it, commit to the game plan. Like, if we're going to lose by 10 goals, let's lose by 10 goals, but at least show some signs. There isn't that. And I remember when we played Hawthorn. This time last year, we played Hawthorn, and they were very stubborn in the way they were playing. They were playing this kick mark, trying to go through the middle, trying to control the game, and it just didn't work. We smashed them by 10 goals. And Sam Mitchell came out in the press conference and said, yeah, look, we tried to commit to a game plan. The players probably took it a little bit literally, but we're going to continue to play this way. And look where they went. Yeah, they got to a prelim.
You've got to see direction with where you're going week by week, so that, I mean, even if it doesn't work one week, at least you can progress on it every single week and get to a point where you end up like Hawthorn and everyone. I mean, they play so in sync, Hawthorn, and I mean, Melbourne just look, there's no connection. You look, they chip the ball around. This is what I saw in their back line. They'd get it to about half back, and it's seriously, they look up and they take 15 seconds to decide where do I go, because they lack kickers, they lack it throughout their midfield, and they've got no forward targets, and they have no idea how to really get from that sort of halfway line into their forward 50, and it's been that way for years.
We have no strength anymore. Like, we used to be able to rely on our midfield and our defense.
Yeah, the centre bounce.
Midfield's getting bullied.
You watch that grand
Raul
final.
Anderson, like, bullied us.
Absolutely destroyed you through the middle. The centre clearances.
Forwards offer us nothing, and we're so leaky in defense now. Like, we actually have nothing to fall back on. Yep. And, like, credit to Gold Coast. They're good, and we'll touch on them in a sec. But,
for sure. Yeah.
Like, we'll win games this year, but I can't visualize it. I can't see how we beat an opposition.
No, I feel like Melbourne's last couple of weeks have been a lot more disappointing than Carlton's. Even though Carlton stood at 0-3, I still feel like they've shown fight. I thought they were pretty unlucky on Friday night, and they got beaten by a better team against Hawthorn, but they've actually had a fair crack at it. They look like they still sort of believe in what they're doing at least, whereas Melbourne, it just feels like it's falling apart there.
Yeah. Well, they also have some question marks, especially on Michael Voss. Now, I know he's got them to finals, and they've won a couple finals, but I think some hard decisions need to be made across a few football clubs at the moment.
So, I think these hard decisions will be made potentially after this week.
Really? This week?
There's the AFL that I was actually going to bring this up today. I had it written down in the Let's Not Be Silly section.
Yeah, okay.
But I might go a bit early here. But I've got some stats on AFL coaching, and I really feel like they hold on to their jobs for a lot longer than they should. So Michael Voss has been coaching since 2022. So this is his 4th year as Carlton coach, taking over a list that was meant to be a premiership caliber list, and they haven't made the top 4. Simon Goodwin, this is his 9th season at Melbourne, and they haven't won a final in Melbourne since 2018. lots of rumours about him, issues at the club, still keeps his job. Hinkley, Beveridge have been coaching for 10 plus years. Beveridge hasn't won a premiership since 2016. Like these guys, are, even if they're good coaches, so the average length of an AFL coach is 4.6 years. You look at international sport, NBA 2.4, EPL 2.05.
You just saw what happened with Memphis's coach.
AFL coaches hold their job for double the length of most other professional sports. If you look at the elite sports across the world, but for some reason we have premiership loyalty, boys clubs, and just undeserved faith where we just let the coach sit there even after 2 or 3 bad years and say, oh, it's going to be all right. And then like you look at Justin Longmuir getting an extension, Brad Scott getting an extension, and Ross Lyon getting an extension when they've done nothing to really warrant that. But they don't make coaches earn extensions in the AFL. They just let them sit in their job and they
get
wait
complacent.
for the whole club to fall apart and they go, okay, let's replace them. And I feel like it should be a bit more brutal.
Yeah.
I agree. That is a great point, backed up with evidence. And look, I don't love sitting on a couch and talking about other people's jobs, but the business is the business. Like, you know, we're paid up members. You want to see your club have some sort of direction. And if you don't, you're not seeing that, then look, there's no change. Nothing changes when nothing changes, as they say.
You don't need to wait for it to fall apart to make the big move. You've got to sort of be proactive and see it coming and then make harsh calls. And that's, I mean, you look at Hawthorn did it with Clarkson. They moved him on at the right time. I feel like Collingwood did it with Buckley, maybe even left that a bit long, but you've just got to make the call and get the right coach in. And when it's not working, you move on.
It's interesting you say that because I was speaking to a few Carlton supporters at the end of last week about the possibility of going 0-4 and what that means for the future of the club and Voss coaching. And they all believe that it's not on Carlton terms to get rid of him. They think it will be on his own terms to leave.
What has he done to warrant that? With all due respect, he's a great AFL, but he doesn't deserve, he hasn't taken them anywhere.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, but they don't believe that Carlton will sack him.
Yeah, well, their coaching decisions in the past 15 years sums up their records that they haven't been able to get the right coach in and treat them with the right respect. And
I think decisions have to be made also because there's a few good coaches out there now, like Horse, Longmire, Adam Simpson.
I'd be getting rid of my coach to get Horse Longmire
100%.
in like that. I mean, you got 4 grand finals in 10 years. It's amazing that clubs will just sit there on their hands while he's out there without a job.
Yeah. Should we move on to some blind rankings?
Go ahead. They loved it a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, I've got one for Shosti first. I've got one for you after Zace.
Okay.
What's the Do you want to type it out for Shosti? We've got blind ranking time slots for Shosti.
How many is he doing?
We've got these are the time slots for next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got one. It should be 9.
9 times 9. All right.
I've got.
Oh no, are there any buys?
Oh, there's one buy. Yeah, it'll be 8.
So 8.
All right.
So I'm ranking the games or the time
No,
slots?
time
Okay,
slots.
gotcha.
I rate this.
I like it too.
All right.
We've got Saturday, 7:35 p.m.
That's a 6.
Really?
Wow, interesting
I
stuff.
don't like the Saturday night game. Doesn't do it for me.
Saturday, 1:20 p.m.
4.
Put it in the top 4. Okay. Sunday at 5:10.
7.
Yep, nice. Thursday, 7:40.
2.
Ooh, found it Thursday.
Okay. Sunday, 3:20. Chase likes this one.
Yeah, no, I do. I'd say maybe 5.
Okay.
Saturday, 4:15 p.m.
That's 8. That's a horrible time. That's just it's an awkward in between time on your Saturday. I really.
You put that at 8.
I'm talking about going to the footy.
Sunday,
when I would
1:10
like to go to
p.m.
the footy. Sunday at
1:10 p.m.
Oh gee, that's going to end up at 3, even though it probably shouldn't.
And you've done well to leave the number
Yes.
one spot Friday, 7:40.
There's nothing
PM.
like Friday night footy to kickstart your weekend. So
I'm looking.
Chase, how do you think he went?
As in, like, obviously it's personal preference, but
Yeah, you got Friday night, Thursday night, Sunday 110, and then Saturday 120.
as in my top 3 in Shosti's bottom 4. I'm going
wow.
Saturday 4:15 1, Sunday 3:20 at 2, very controversial. Saturday 7:35 at 3, and then
I don't understand the
rest.
hate against Saturday 7:35.
I don't like a
People are
Saturday
busy.
night game. Yeah, you probably
yeah.
the chances are you got something on, you can't watch the game. Like even if
Sure.
a function or
Sure,
an event.
but if
like,
it's my own team, I'm prioritizing my own team.
well, what if it's like your best mate's birthday?
tell them reschedule.
Sorry, mate.
Well,
The funny thing is, like,
I
No,
don't
it
know
does
half of
happen,
that.
but it's. I think it's still a great.
I prefer to
time.
avoid that. It's
Saturday
also
night. Like, what else would you want to be doing?
we've got a
you're normally at the Emerson Brody.
I'm a one and done man.
we've got
With Bull
21st this Saturday, and like the first thing I do whenever we have a party on like a Saturday night, I'll always check who's playing footy that
course,
night. So yeah, safe this week. Although Harry is playing on Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll tune in for a bit. Thanks, Corey.
Yes. Are you ready for yours, Chase?
Yeah, what am I
Maybe
doing?
hard for you, but we'll give it a crack. 7. We've got 7.
7 what?
7
you got to give me a category.
spots
Yes.
for MCG food.
MCD food. Okay. I do indulge a little bit
Do you?
in MCD food.
You like a
Mainly
little
when I go to the
mukbang
cricket.
at the G?
Mainly when
Oh,
I go to
really?
the cricket, but footy, a little bit. Yeah, go. Okay.
So I've left some out. I haven't put all of them in. I just thought of some random ones, some good ones, some bad ones, So we're going to start with the gammy fried chicken.
I haven't tried. I have Gammy Fried Chicken on
Yeah.
Centre Road. There's a nice place.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it at the G, but
Okay.
I love it. So I'll go 3.
Okay. This is a staple, this one, the hot chips. You can't go wrong with it, but
No, 1. I'm actually happy to put that 1.
It's a crowd pleaser. No one.
speaking of crowd
about
pleasers,
it.
I've never understood this one, the Milo ice cream.
See, I told you I like getting in cricket. I'm not gonna put that too low. I'll put at 5.
6-year-old me would have that at 1. I used to
Yeah.
the little scoop shake.
An Aussie favourite, the meat pie.
Overrated. I don't like meat pies, and it's messy.
Messy, jinx.
It's messy. 7.
Controversial.
Speaking of messy, nachos.
Also messy. I'm gonna put it at 6. So I've left 2 and 4.
Jam donuts.
Very good. Very good jam donuts. Don't get it that often, but I always walk past and want
The
one.
smell, at
So
night.
I'm going to
it's
put that
cold.
at 2. I'm going to
Yeah.
put that at 2. And I'm very happy with my ranking so far.
No, you've done nicely. And to
yeah,
finish it off, the Greek salad.
Have never had it at the G, but I don't mind a Greek salad. So I'm happy to put that at 4.
Ezzy and I got it the other week.
Really?
It does the job.
That-
like when
that's
you don't-
solid ranking. You're missing the Don's hot dog.
I didn't put in the hot dog, but I told you I wouldn't be putting in everything.
Okay, I don't get it anything. at
Do you get the
footy
glizzy?
except for the glizzy? I get
You're a glizzy
Don's-
gladiator.
I'm a glizzy gladiator. The
Okay.
Don's hot dog at the footy. Take a photo with it. Get
Can't be
around it.
seen.
Very exciting.
Can't be seen eating that.
Probably my 2 most frequent purchases you didn't mention. It
What is
was
that? A water?
the water. Nah, it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
no, it
Mount
wasn't.
Franklin.
It was the MCG burger.
Is that
And
the chicken one
also-
or just like the standard?
Nah, the standard one.
Beef, yeah.
And then sometimes chicken and chips, like chicken strips, which I actually think are overrated.
Put that in.
I don't.
Nah, I got rid of it.
They used to be good. Now they're not good. So
You know what's a really weird one, but it's at Marvel, the sushi, and it's horrible.
you never get
so
sushi
bad.
outside of a sushi place.
Yeah. It's like the
Only trust the
7-Eleven one.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually want to touch quickly on the Gold Coast because
The gold
Matt
hunt.
Rao, like honestly, he's an animal. He is like an untamed dog.
Yeah. No, he does start years particularly well.
He does?
I feel like
He's
recently.
hungry.
But I'm not going to say he's not going to keep it up because the way he looks right now, he looks as good as any midfielder in the comp. He's tearing it up.
The way he's quick as well. Like he's so
Yeah.
strong in a contest, but he's also fast. Like he was burning off
Yeah,
our
he was
mids.
taking them
13
out of the centre
clearances.
bounces.
13 clearances.
Incredible.
That's Clary.
No, the thing is, it actually is Clary. Like it's Clary, but better, and that's what's so scary. He is a freak. And him and Anderson and Flanders, Bailey Humphrey was very good. I thought
really
he took
good.
some steps forward.
Yep.
Took Miller went forward. Nice forward status for you, Brody.
3 goals against the D's.
Yes. So they're looking good. Devon asked, will they play finals? I'm going to say right here, right now, the Suns will definitely play finals this year.
They did start the season 2-0 last year, Chase. Just remember that.
I agree with that, Chase. I think they look unbelievable. And again, their midfield stacked and including Ruckman, forward line unbelievable. I'm just going to bring up the one issue, which I think has actually flown a bit under the radar with them, which we're going to find out a lot this weekend against Adelaide, is they lost Charlie Ballard to an ACL, who's a really underrated staple of their defence. They they played Melbourne, whose key forwards are as bad as anyone's in the comp. I feel like going up against Thilthorpe, Walker and Fogarty, we'll see if their key defence can actually hold up against the best teams in the comp this year.
Collins is good. Mac Andrew is more of an interceptor, but who else in terms of key positions? They've got a lot of good runners.
They've got the flankers are great. Will Powell, Noble, Rioli, they've got
Jeffrey,
Butterick. They've got a lot of those likes, but it's just if their key defenders can hold up, that's going to be game of the week for me, I think. Gold Coast Adelaide.
Who would have thought coming into the season that you'd say that?
Yeah.
Doss's deliberation. So it's only been 3 weeks. Don't need to overreact, but some of the first-year players are making a name for themselves already, and I wanted to ask you, who is right now the rising star favourite?
You told me that Sportsbet says it's Levi Ashcroft.
Yes. Obviously, Sportsbet has Levi Ashcroft at 1. I think Sam Lawler at 2.
Lawler.
But your opinion, who is going to win the rising star now sitting around 3?
Would it have to be Murphy Reid?
If that's your opinion. No, Matson says Murphy Reid. Stiglitz says Levi Ashcroft. Did you write that in, or did Dean late?
I think
write that
Dean
in?
just
I didn't put that in. I personally think it will be Levi Ashcroft, though.
I'm
Just because of...
a big fan of Sam Lawler, and I think he gets better as the season goes on.
On a losing
Give
team,
us your top 5.
Well, I love Lawler, and Ashcroft is great as well. Xavier Lindsay was looking like a serious contender for me, but
He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Only out for a couple of weeks.
If he's only out for a couple of weeks, I think he can get up there. And then also Harvey Langford showed on the weekend that he'll.
So good.
Yeah,
I think he'll end up in the top 5 as well. And we're going off the top guys in the draft, but Finn O'Sullivan I thought looked amazing against Adelaide. So and Connor O'Sullivan as well.
I was going to say yes, Connor.
He's another contender. But
Dan Curtin as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't really have the role to get involved enough. But he looked great. He looks like he'll be a great player. But Sam Lawler for me, with Lindsay and Langford coming 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I've got. I don't know who's going to win it right now. My rankings would be Murphy Reid 1.
Wow.
Yep. Off the body of work of 3 weeks, Murphy Reid 1. Sullivan from Geelong. Is it O'Sullivan?
Yeah, O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan from Geelong. Then I got the 2 D's boys, Lindsay and Langford, and then probably Sam Lawler at my 5.
Yeah. It's a massive crop of great players, and then Richmond still haven't unleashed Smiley and Hodden yet either.
Yeah, and we didn't mention Trainer.
And West Coast Bo Allen as well. There's a lot of guys that haven't even played yet, but it's a really deep class, which is exciting.
Yes, very keen. Brody, do you have a top 5?
I don't.
How's your mate
Don't
from
say
Essendon?
it. Don't say it.
Kaka.
Nah, he's
good.
been all right.
He's good.
He's been all right, but he's not the fantasy player I was hoping for.
What about Saad El Hawley?
He was lively, bro.
Yeah.
He was the one good thing that came out of that game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was such a bad game. That first half.
We'll save it.
Sorry.
Brody's going to unleash on that. So
Yeah. Well, let's not be silly. Obviously, Shosti's already gone, so Brody, go for it.
Well, you said it for me. Thursday night, the quality of football was actually atrocious. I was thinking about it. The past 5 years of football I've watched, I don't think I've seen a worse game than that.
under a roof as well.
Under a roof, it looked dead. There weren't that many fans in the crowd. Essendon v Port Adelaide. Port don't look that strong this year. Essendon. I counted 4 drop marks, at least 15 missed kicks that shouldn't have missed. You know, it's not hard to hit your teammate from 15, 20 metres out when no one's on him. Low scoring, I believe it was 29 to 35 around that.
Heap of behinds as well.
At half time. Thankfully, the last quarter was interesting and it was still a close game because other than that, it could have been ranked as one of the worst games I've ever seen.
On prime time slot, yeah.
Yeah, on prime time slot. Well, that's the thing. How can you have someone like Essendon playing at prime time Thursday night, it was just frustrating, and it was actually off-putting. I went into Friday night thinking like, do I even want to watch? Like, it was that bad the night before. Like, wasted 2.5 hours of my time and just really didn't enjoy it.
That's the thing with the Thursdays.
It took away from football. Took away from it.
It's meant to set up.
I could be watching. I could be watching White Lotus. I could have started Severance. Watched a movie, a Marvel movie. You know, Captain America, something like that. But no, I had to watch Port Adelaide versus Essendon.
Yeah. On paper, like, not a terrible game, but there was 0 highlights in that first half. Like,
really
there was no contest. There was,
Especially with Rosie getting tagged out.
it was just uncontested marks.
There was no
Port
expected
Adelaide's
players.
game style was awful as well.
Yeah.
They just chipped it around, and
Like, Quan Francis did nothing.
Essendon at least I thought brought some hunger. Like, they looked like a bad team that was really desperate to win, and they got it done. But yeah, it was not an enjoyable game to watch at all.
Well, my Let's Not Be Silly also includes Essendon fans. It's Carlton and Essendon, and it's about the Mackay brothers. So, first of all, when Harry Mackay was he withdrew from the Carlton side due to mental health reasons. A lot of the Carlton fans had a go at him for being soft, and we don't know the reason as to why he withdrew, obviously aside from it being personal or mental health reasons. But for Carlton fans to have a go at your own player for mental health, personal reasons is just the lowest of the low. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how bad your team is going, how bad your player is going. You are a supporter. You need to support your own players. That is like one of the lowest of the lows. Like, all those people on Twitter having a go at him, because it actually takes some balls for Harry Mackay to be like, hey, like, I'm not up for the game. And for people to have a go at him, it just makes it worse for him.
It was a hot topic of discussion. I heard a lot of my mates talking about it and saying it's a soft look. Like, you know, those who work a 9 to 5 have to go in the work the next day. They're not missing a day to mental health because the rumors were that he may or may not have broken up with his girlfriend. But we don't know the full extent. It could have been something really serious, something deeper.
Been squashed. I don't think that's true.
It's not?
No.
Even if it was, you don't know how bad it could have been. A really, really ugly breakup. You don't know the extent. To judge a person based off that, it is low.
Yeah, no, I think
it's unfair, especially if you don't know the actual truth.
Yeah, no, I mean, the role of supporters is to support their own players, and I think the media's already going to tear these players to shreds anyway. Yeah. And that's the nature of the game. I feel like your own supporters, I mean, Bronx cheering for Ben Mackay, and like, I understand frustration when you're losing and when, you know, Ben Mackay is clearly a bit overpaid and not performing up to standard. But to bring the best out of your players like that just makes it worse. So actually, I watched a really cool Netflix 15, 20-minute thing where there was a baseball player that got signed, probably a Ben Mackay-like deal, was underperforming a heap, and then one fan was just getting booed and benched and everything, and one fan goes, we're actually all going to cheer when he gets to the plate. And he ended up having an unbelievable game, picked up from there, and the rest of the season he's become a great signing. So
there you go.
I guess
some
you
places
never know.
Need a little boost.
Yeah, 100%. I'll get the name on that, but it's a true story.
Yeah, and you know, I don't want to put all Carlton and Essendon fans in that category, but it doesn't look good as a supporter base for you to represent your club like that. You're a supporter. Doesn't matter what's going on. Your first responsibility is to support your team. Like, you want to win. If Harry Mackay played and didn't do anything, you would have. And then Michael Voss comes out in the media and says, "Oh, look, he's stealing and stuff," a la Simon Goodwin. Then you would have been like, "Oh, why was he playing then?" Yeah. So you have to
put your best team forward, and
they're one of your own. They're one of your own, and I would hope no Melbourne fan would ever do that. So we probably don't go to the game, but we don't bash our players.
Man, you were booing the players.
Yeah, I was one guy. One guy.
I don't know about that.
There's always one.
A few more than one.
I'm pretty sure it was one. Not in 2013. Anything else, Shosti? Because I'm happy to go to round 4. Sorry, round 4. I've written round 3. There are some big games. It doesn't get any bigger than Thursday night.
Yep. No, it's. I'm nervous to be criticising Carlton on this podcast because I feel like it might come back to bite me. There's always records don't matter going into these games. Nothing really matters. Collingwood versus Carlton, it's always going to be heated, but. To have the opportunity to send them to 0-4 is a very exciting prospect for Collingwood, and it should be as exciting. As much as Carlton are trying to get their first win, we should be excited to keep them winless.
The only reason I was accepting of having the bye last week because I knew this game was coming. I cannot wait. Looking forward to it. It's been on my mind for the past 7-8 days. I'm very excited, and Carlton fans are nervous. I'm not nervous yet. Maybe during the game I get a bit nervous, but I'm excited. I love a good crowd. I love a good fight. There's not enough rivalries, I feel, and this is obviously the biggest one. So let's get to it.
Cups.
Yeah, there's not many. Alex Fasolo and Dale Thomas.
Jordan Russell,
Heath Scotland.
Heath Scotland. That's a good one.
Yeah. Who?
There was a lot of poaching, I think, in like the 80s, but I don't have the names on
Must
those
have been.
guys.
Oleg Markov
yeah,
trained.
that's
If
a
you
good one.
will.
Carlton.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't count,
And
but
we-
it's
no,
something
If you will.
to
It's
know.
an if you will.
It's actually
Mick
better than a
Moldhouse
cup.
coaching.
Yeah.
Mick Moldhouse.
I reckon the Oleg Markov one, we stole him and then made him a
fringe
premiership
player?
player.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to the game?
Of course.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm also going to the game.
Why?
Well, my cousin's a Carlton supporter, my first cousin, and it's her birthday, so
Good game.
she
to
had
bring
no
the
one to.
camera.
Yes, she had maybe. She had tickets and no one to go with, so I said I'll go.
Enjoy.
Nothing
it.
else to
You
do,
get to
so-
see some good quality
It's the
football.
first game I'm going to the year. I haven't been able to go to any games, so
Wow.
I'm very keen just to watch footy and actually see a good crowd.
You'll see a great crowd
I
there. Yeah.
probably won't
Chips?
see a good crowd for the rest of the year.
I'll take the pies.
Pies.
Carlton.
Oh,
Oh,
devil's
wow.
advocate, how fast. Friday night, I feel like when they were scheduling this game, they thought it'd be really good. Geelong versus Melbourne.
There's still a lot riding on it.
Geelong
The,
is
the, the teams are combined 1 and 5, so
like Geelong are 1 and 2,
These
and
teams
I'm
need to
not
win.
giving us any chance, but I'm just saying like Geelong need to win this game.
you did it before, and in Geelong.
That was 4 years ago.
They also
when
lost
we won the
on
premiership.
Siren to Geelong.
Yeah,
Geelong.
we used to be competitive
Yeah.
against them.
It'd always be a solid
this
one.
this could be bad. Like this could be really bad. I don't have any confidence in Melbourne that we can actually respond. Like I used to be like, oh, we'll lose, backs against the wall, we'll respond. But like we've got nothing going for us. I can't see. The only thing we have is Cozzy Pickett will be back, Jake Lever will be back, and maybe Caleb Windsor. So they're 3 pretty big ins.
Massive.
Caleb Windsor, we saw him on Saturday night.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
Shosti
he-
mentioned he had a toe infection, foot
Yeah,
infection,
he
and
did. So what was
didn't
his
stop him
name?
from
He had a foot
dancing.
infection, but he was happily moving around the Emerson, which I wasn't a big fan of, to be honest. But I mean, maybe he's cleared up. But you'd want to see him playing Friday
Well,
night because
he
if
better
he
be
wasn't
playing.
fit to
Yeah.
play on Saturday
Yeah,
morning,
but he actually
shouldn't
busted
be
out
out
a
on
little
Saturday
move as
night.
well.
Did he?
He was walking like toward the dance and then walked back and went like this, which is an interesting move.
Okay. Caleb, get on the field, please, because we need someone who can kick the ball.
Tips?
Well, firstly, cups.
Cups.
Jared Rivers, Sam Blees.
yeah, they're good
I
ones.
pick up 2 niche ones. Mitch Clark,
I'm trying to think.
Shannon Burns.
I don't know any of these
He's a
guys.
premiership
Yeah,
player.
I know
Geelong.
all these. These are good ones, Chase.
Thanks. You can help if you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, you've just taken a fair
Yeah,
few.
I know.
Almost Clayton Oliver.
Yeah. Nah, I can't think of any others. Mitch Brown and Brent Maloney, actually.
Brent
Yeah,
Maloney.
Maloney. Yeah, that's
Started at Geelong, both
wow,
those 2.
That's good Melbourne knowledge, Chase.
Tips?
Geelong by a lot.
Geelong.
Geelong, but not as much as Chase thinks.
Hopefully.
Gold Coast
Game
v.
of the round.
Yep, Gold Coast v Adelaide.
Rory Atkins is a cup, now
Yep.
at Port Adelaide.
Elliot Himmelberg as well.
Hugh
Now at
Greenwood,
Gold
I was
Coast.
thinking Hugh Greenwood, yeah.
now not in the AFL, retired.
Ben Keys.
You said Elliot Hemming. Yeah, Ben Keys for Gold Coast. Wasn't he at Brisbane?
Didn't he had a
It was-
1-year layover at Gold
Ah,
Coast? I
Not,
think.
not too sure about that.
I wouldn't know.
I reckon he was Brisbane, but he's your man.
No, I know Brisbane. I don't know about
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
No, I'm not sure about that one, Shosti.
He's my man.
Any other
Yeah,
cups?
sorry, that's wrong. I'm thinking. Oh, it's Hugh
All good.
Greenwood.
Yeah, huge game in Gold Coast, so
Who do we think? I'm going to go Crom.
I'm going to go Gold Coast.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Crows.
Nice.
Keen.
Richmond v Brisbane.
Okay, I have a player in mind. I have forgot his name, though. He famously, this game, Richmond Fremantle, he missed 2 shots within a few meters. He hit the post, but I can't remember his name. So it's going to hurt me. I've said his name before in previous years. I apologize. Any other ones, though?
Doesn't feel like
I'm not too sure with
one with a lot of crossover. Richmond, Brisbane.
This also could get ugly. It
Yeah.
is at the G, but
it's going to get.
not that really affected Brisbane in the grand final.
I'm going to tip Brisbane.
Brisbane by 100 points.
Yeah,
Plus.
Brisbane by a lot.
All right. The Luke Parker Cup. North Melbourne v Sydney.
Jacob Constanti as well. Let's not forget. Package in the trade.
Oh no,
Yes.
Struggling today.
Ryan somebody.
Ryan Clark.
Ryan
That's
Clark.
a good one. Yep.
The Tagger.
Nah. I feel like that was
It doesn't
it.
get any better as well with these teams.
Wait, so North Sydney in Marvel?
Have you seen Footy and Friends has taken your cups?
Have they?
They do the cup. Well, they don't call it cups.
They call it what?
They just name players who will play
Yeah.
for both teams, but then they get one of them on the phone, and it's actually really funny.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
like
one
last
up.
week there was Port Adelaide Richmond, or the week before.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide Richmond. They had like Matt White on the phone.
Yeah.
Like they just have really
Well, we
funny
should do that.
people come on.
We
the
had
phone.
I actually have Hugh Greenwood's number.
Why?
For Harry gave it to me.
Why?
I just tried to reach out to him, but no response.
Ah.
So
If you're listening, Hugh.
yeah. So I could call him, but probably not the best thing to do. So I won't do that. Tips wise,
Sydney.
Sydney.
Sorry, Harry.
North.
Okay.
Okay. GWS v West Coast.
Matt Flynn.
Yeah, Matt Flynn's.
They had a small forward who's now a bodybuilder on English. On Instagram. Oh, I said English.
It's because
I had a weird day today. Had a really awkward encounter at the cafe this morning.
I don't know.
sorry.
Nah, come on. Help.
I don't know.
Really Chase. I've got brain fog. No, he's like a small forward. He has the same last name as a few other people in the AFL. It's actually gonna piss me
Someone
off. I'm gonna get it straight away as soon as we finish the podcast.
3,
Oh,
2.
And did you like know who I'm thinking about or no?
is it a like recent player?
Like 3 years ago, I reckon he
Yeah.
was traded. Dean will know if he's listening.
All right. Tips.
Giants.
GWS.
Giants.
Port Adelaide v Saints. This will be interesting. In Adelaide as well.
Yeah, Saints in Adelaide this week and again next week. So they're going to stay the week there.
Yeah.
Gather around. Been stitched
fun.
up.
The
Very
Adelaide
fun.
Saints, 3 of their first
Yeah.
5 games in Adelaide.
They're actually they're in good form, and Port aren't. But
Yeah.
I still think Port will win convincingly. I mean, in terms of cups, we've got Jared Linear, we've
Jared
got
Linear, yeah.
Dougal Howard.
Dougal.
Yeah. Good lines. Are they? Oh, Jared Lynett too. He just came up.
Yeah, Miles
I'm
Bergman,
struggling.
maybe
Yeah,
soon.
maybe. Yeah.
Is that it?
I'm sure there's more, but
I'm going to tip Port.
I'll go Port as well.
Yeah, Port.
Yep. We got Freo v Western Bulldogs.
The graveyard shift.
The Lobster.
The lobster.
The lobster.
Graveyard shift. Adam Papalia on the call. A very good game. A very good game. We have, in terms of cups. Ooh, yeah. Struggling here.
Yeah.
Struggling
It's
here.
a tough week.
Yeah.
is a
not
tough
lot.
week.
Not a lot of cups this week. Normally, I
I got one.
pride
Hayden
myself
Crozier.
on them.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Might save
The
the
glasses, man.
save the cup segment.
Yeah, you've clutched up today.
Yeah.
I've been terrible.
This Giants West Coast one's gonna piss me off.
No, we're focusing on
Okay, sorry.
Bulldogs Freo.
Sorry. Yeah, you guys do your tips, and I'm gonna see if I can find this Giants player.
I think it's Fremantle in this one. I think
Yeah.
they've underperformed to start the year, but they're ready to bounce back.
Freo at home.
Yeah.
I
All
reckon
right.
they're going to win.
Oh, Jared Brander's a good one there.
Did he play for?
Yeah, he played he
West
got
Coast?
drafted
Oh, yeah,
first
he
round
did.
to GWS.
And
Oh,
wait.
to West Coast, and then
Hey.
moved to GWS afterwards.
Are you sure he went to?
100%.
Are you sure?
100%.
I feel like there was rumors that he was gonna go.
He played He played a couple games.
I got it.
and then went to
I've
West
searched it up, but it's Zach Langdon.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one. Zach
so-
Giles Langdon, actually. I think he
That
used
his
to go
middle name?
under. No, I think it's like a hyphen.
Oh, a bit of a Bobby Ian Hill
Yeah.
type thing. And they had some other ones here.
Didn't know he was a bodybuilder.
Oh, Jonathan Giles, Zach Langdon, Jared Brander. There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Not
All right.
many.
I'm sure no one cares about that anymore. So, thank you very much, Shosti, for coming on the podcast.
No worries. Always
Played your role
really
very well.
enjoy it.
You did do well.
Filled the
Glad.
boots of Dean.
Yep. Tried my best.
And Brody was very good too. So,
Thanks,
very
Chase.
keen. And thank you for listening.
Great from you as always, Chase.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Ciao.